Hello, everyone. It's Ko, the lead producer of Aurora Avenue, and today I'm here to break down the production of our song Skipping Stones. If you haven't already heard Skipping Stones, you're able to stream it basically on any streaming platform, and we're about to hit 100,000 streams, so go in there and take your before 100,000 ticket. All right, before we get into it though, I want to give some backstory. This was the first project I really ever did on Logic. Graduation happened. It was my graduation gift in 2021, and so from July to July through mid-September, that was our production phase for the whole entire album. We recorded the whole entire album at home. We didn't go to any studios. We either did it at Michael's house, my house, or at our buddy Keegan's house, and all of the mixing and mastering was done by us as well. While we might take a hit in our quality, we still take pride in the fact that all of our music is made in-house. Alright, it also makes it a lot cheaper. With that being said, let's look at our whole entire board. So you'll notice there's a lot of processing going on, and this is like the typical amateur engineer stuff. And I'm not going to get too down on myself because I still do like how the record turned out tonally. Maybe balance-wise and perceived loudness and all of that could have been a lot better, but I had no idea what any of those terms were back when I was working on this. And the reason why I've actually started to get a lot more dedicated into mixing and mastering and why I want to go to school or why I'm going to Berkeley for this is because when the song released, we sent it to a bunch of people that were asking to can we get on your platform and promote the songs. And one notable group was like, first of all, you're new, so we'll give you some time, but have you looked into getting a mixing engineer and a mastering engineer? I'm not a petty person, I don't hold grudges, but that did make me decide, you know what, I'm gonna go to school for this and work on this and prove these people wrong, because they had nothing to really say about the music and they only had to comment about the mixing. The mixing, I'll admit, isn't the best. The mastering isn't the best, but I think the fact that the song is doing so well and it's resonating with so many people says a lot more than, oh, have you looked into a mixing engineer? That's just the way. That's just I don't know. I don't hold grudges, but that just fueled a fire in me for some weird reason. Anyway, I will first play the song completely dry with no processing at all. So we use DI and amp simulator. So that's some pretty harsh stuff. So yeah, let's get into the drums first. I was listening to a lot of Wolfpack at this time, and they use a very compressed, warm drum sound, and I tried to emulate it here. And all it is with the kick, it's just compression and EQ. Nothing parallel going on. No bus sends, even though it looks like there's a bus. Snare, compression, and exciter, and some EQ for tonal stuff. Overheads, just exciters, panned hard left and right. The rack tom has a compressor and then an EQ for some weird reason, and an exciter. And the floor tom has no exciter. Maybe it's to keep it low and grounded, but to be honest, I had no idea what the decision was there. But that's a solid drum sound for only six mics, because we were limited, obviously. We don't have the super nice microphones that studios use or all that, but we did a really good job recording this at Keegan's place. Next, let's get into the horns. So for each individual horn, I have some EQ, compressor, and then for some weird reason, I have Melodyne, but looks like I only added Melodyne for the intro. Maybe there's a little bit of intonation problems here. And for Peyton's part, I added a limiter to really bring out the loudness. Peace of mind. Said I'm alone. And then the overall horn bus, I just got rid of some of the low end, got rid of some of the high end, took out some of the like harshness in the 2 to 3K range, added some, or took out some low mids and added some high mids. Overall, just to like sculpt it around the mix, I guess. And then before I knew what buses were, I just threw them on, threw all of my effects onto onto the effects rack, and so I'd have a delay and then reverb. I'm glad I did that first. But then there's compression after the processing, and then EQ, and then another delay. I would do this completely different nowadays, especially adding the expander too. For my headspace back then, I was probably just adding something and not really thinking about the order, but just like, all right, this sounds good. What can I add after this to make it sound good? Okay, what can I add after this? So that is something you shouldn't do when you're mixing music. Thinking about how the signal chain actually flows and how things will react to each other. Pretty happy with the overall sound of the horns anyway. I mean, when we get to the bridge, you'll hear it. Bass, we got Nazo Oliveira. Let's get into some of his chorus stuff, because I really love his chorus. This is also DI. Cut off until 112, which is pretty significant. Maybe I would have done it a bit lower, maybe in the 60-40 range. And yeah, this is the bass plugin, if anyone on Logic wants to copy that. I love this bass part though. Nazer did a great job with that. And then in the verse, we add a little flange. I think this is a preset Logic plugin too. Gives it a little bit more like backbone. I stopped to think about what I've lost. Friends and family is all. You don't really notice it, but you definitely like obviously notice things that are in the mix. But I also just like to feel things that I'm not really noticing, if that makes sense. Let's get into some of Gabi's stuff that's going on. His lead guitar. So these are also Logic amp sim for his clean tone in the verses. This is what we have going. We just have a large tweed amp. And then for his distorted stuff, we have crazy EQ, subtractive EQ, I guess. And we also have a lot of treble boost, 2 treble boosts, and then vibrato, and then this British amp and cab. Simple task, but someday, maybe on a Sunday, my heart will say. But they cuts through our mix really well, which is all that we really needed. Doesn't matter about the individual tone. All right, we got some vocals, background vocals. This was Michael's idea, I think. That's just me going who. My heart will say hello. Can't wait for a party on my own. It looks like I just didn't even process these, just dry. But some nights I'll have myself a highlight while I watch the skipping stones. But someday, maybe on a Sunday, my heart will say hello. Next we have piano. This is just my stand-up piano in my room. Has a lo-fi sound. I did cut off a lot of the high end, a lot of the low end. Oh, so I did add like a low, this pitch shifter, and mixed in some of the lower octave to give it that quality. Which sounds pretty cool, actually. Maybe the dry sound does sound better. Times, the dark ocean below looks surprised. real quick, we'll get into my part, I guess. This is just two of the same electric guitar part. Hard panned left and right. This is my signal chain, or my presets for the Logic amp sims. Alright, let's get into some of the elements that are now like production elements. In the last two choruses, we added some string synths. And we almost added this brass thing. But we didn't think that we needed more brass in the song, especially a part that is synthy and it's going to be so far in the back that it wouldn't be noticeable. And other than that, we can get into the bridge. Now, the bridge could have been a completely different bridge. While we were writing this song, we had the chords, so we had this, which was all Gabi's idea, this major 7, minor 9 progression. But we were like, what can we add? So at first, what was our original idea was this, and you'll thank us for not going through with this idea. So it would have been like a chorus thing. It would have been like la 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 la. And then as it goes on, there's just more layers adding. That was my original idea. Thank God we decided to go with a horn solo because we thought we needed this song to highlight everyone. And, you know, my part is pretty fun. Dun, 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 dun. That's pretty unique. Gabi's lead part is awesome and super, super unique, and it cuts through the mix, so it's easy to hear. Nazar's bass line is just holding it down. Michael's drum part is just holding it down as well. But the horns, other than the chorus, they don't really get a spot. So we were like, you know what? For Sound Off, which was a event that we were playing for at that time, we decided, you know what? Let's add in a horn solo. So let's break it down before we add the horns, the production. First, we have these two synths. There. We'll start it from the very beginning with Nazar in my part. So we have these two synths. Adding a lot of just depth, space. Add Gabi's part. We got some piano. Drums. So that is the backing instrumental for the bridge. Just floating in this section. And then just throw the horns in there. Wanted to make this song feel like a fanfare, and so adding that section, just that extra part in the chorus that you don't hear, just makes you feel so uplifted. And we gotta get into Dominique's vocals. What am I doing? Dominique has the rare ability of only needing 3 to 5 takes to really nail it. and she recorded this whole entire project so fast because of it. Not to call out the other guys, but like she is night and day compared to the experience of recording everyone else. Uh, and so yeah, this is just her absolutely killing it.
But someday, maybe on a Sunday, my heart will say hello. Can't wait for a party on my own. But some nights I have
Got some
myself
mic
a
bleed in there.
highlight while I watch the skipping stones. Can't wait for a party on my own.
I mean, come on, what like how are you not gonna be absolutely moved by that vocal performance? That is just it's one of a kind. So yeah, with all of that put together, that is the production of our first ever single, Skipping Stones, mixed, produced, mastered, performed, written by everyone in the band, and yeah. Thank you for watching.